welcome to Arts and Crafts. I'm Audra.
And I'm Megan.
We're glad to have you back with us. This week, we didn't travel far.
We didn't?
No. We are right here in North America.
All right.
Did you know that's the continent you live on?
I did know that.
Good. Maybe some of our friends
Yes,
are still learning that piece.
it's true. Well, and I think it's also confusing because it's called the United States of America, and the continent, that's our country, but our continent is also called North America.
North America. Yeah. So really, this week we just wanted to talk about my place in the world, where you are right now, and all the way up to the earth. All of our world, where are you?
Wow.
So we need lots of circles this week. So in your box, you need your construction paper,
All right.
some glue, scissors. Probably at home you have some markers or crayons. You'll need those. One paper plate.
All right.
And then in your box will be these little binder rings.
Okay.
Did you know that's what that's called? They kind of open up, and then you can slip things on them, and then they close back.
It looks a little like a keychain. It just opens and closes. Is a lot.
Mhm.
Opens and closes a lot differently.
Yeah. So this will be our very last step. We need that for sure. All right. The other thing you need to go on a search around your house is for circles to trace. Your paper plate is going to be your biggest circle. So all of the others need to be smaller, and you need 5. So I went through and found us 5 circles.
All right.
And then you'll need 5 different colors of paper. And you can choose whatever you want. Does not matter.
Yellow, purple. Blue's my favorite, so I definitely need blue.
I like purple. Ooh, that's a good green.
I like green.
I like
Yeah.
greens. A little different. Red.
It's almost a rainbow, but not quite because I'm missing orange.
Do you need orange?
No, because we only need 5. And I think I have.
Okay. So we need to just start, that might be good there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Cutting circles.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what size you put on which color, but each color only needs 1 circle cut. Does that
I'll
make
start with
sense?
that one. But we need each bowl 1 time.
Each bowl 1 time.
I think bowls are good for this. I'm guessing like cups would probably be good for this too.
Yes, I would think so.
Although some of them might be good.
It was a little bit of a scavenger hunt to find all the circles, the right
Yeah.
sizes that could grow.
Let's see. Okay. I need the little one.
I haven't done the little one yet.
Okay. I didn't realize that, but I had 2 pieces of paper stuck together.
Oh, this is good to know. Your biggest circle will just fit on your paper, the width-wise.
All right.
Oh, I don't think I got this. No, I didn't get this one. That's a lot of circles to do.
My bowl just moved, but I think that's gonna work.
You can fix it when you cut it out. Cut it up.
Yeah, I might do it.
Oh, I need one more. No, I got that one. This is the one I need.
I was using it, I think. this might be a trick for you guys that as you're drawing your circles, you may want to make sure that you get all of your silos.
Especially-
Especially if you're sharing.
Yes. If you've got siblings or somebody that's borrowing and using all your bowls. All right. Then just start cutting out your circles.
All right.
So as we're cutting, let's start thinking about what our circles represent.
What do each of the circles represent? I don't even know.
So your smallest circle is going to represent your house and where you live.
Mm.
So there's a couple of different ways you could do this. I thought of one way, and then I think Megan's gonna do a little bit different. But you can think about how you would like to do yours.
Okay.
You may want to just draw your house. You may want to go on a little bit of a scavenger hunt with a camera if you have that option, and take pictures.
My kids often take pictures using their devices. So if you have an iPad or a tablet, you might be able to use that to take some
Mhm.
pictures.
Exactly. And then print them off.
When I was growing up, we had to use the old-fashioned camera.
Yes. Okay, so the ones that you had to take to the store and get developed?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, when I was a kid, we used the Polaroids, the ones that
Oh,
like just automatically popped out of the camera. They're kind of coming back now.
they are.
So the second circle is going to represent your city. So you might think about what your city is known for. What if there's landmarks in your city? What you like about your city?
Now,
have some
when I'm doing
ideas?
it, I don't know. I did have a question. When we're doing your house, if I have a favorite place in my house or maybe a favorite item in my house, can I just draw that?
Yeah, sure. Whatever represents your house to you.
Okay. All right. Do you have any favorite things about your city that you've already been thinking about?
Yes, I do. So, in my city, we are kind of known for our silos. You know what our you know what a silo
Yeah.
is? So we have grain silos in our city, and they're very large, and they're right along what we're second known for, our trains, because the trains go by the silos and get
Yeah.
loaded there and go on their way. So some people are kind of annoyed by the train, but I really kind of like our trains. Now, it's not fun if they get stopped and you're stuck there for 15 minutes, or if they break down and you're stuck for a long time,
Not really.
but
I've had that experience.
I have too. But for the most part, I like our trains, and we can hear them from our house a
Mhm.
lot. The next one is our state.
Okay. So I'm gonna actually just write this.
There's a handy little sheet in your booklet that's
Okay.
in your box, and each one it tells you what circle it is. So you
Okay.
don't have to remember these, but you can also label each one to say my house, or do you like to do the Spanish version? Mi casa,
Mi casa.
my city.
I don't know that one.
I have it written down, but I'm not sure how to say that one. And then the next one is going to be my state. What state do you live in?
We live in Texas.
The great state of Texas,
Okay.
mi estado.
Okay.
The next one is going to be my country, which is you mentioned earlier. What is our country?
Our country is the United States.
Yes. And then our continent is where we visited this week, North America.
And I think North America actually includes Canada as
It
well
does.
as the United States. So our continent isn't just our country, it's also the land that's just above us.
Yes. And then guess what the plate's gonna represent?
The world.
The world.
Look
So this
at
is gonna be
it.
our globe, my planet.
What a good segue.
You did. So for me, I printed out some pictures and I want to cut and glue my pictures on some of them. Some of them I'm gonna draw. So hopefully I brought markers for us.
Oh, good.
We can share.
This is a lot of pictures.
Yeah, but you just, like you said, if you just had one on each.
I think I'm gonna start with.
See, I like labeled mine here. Oops, except I just messed up. My house was supposed to go here.
So what can you do if you mess up? I see you did it.
I just turned it over.
Just turn it over.
But if I wanted to, I could just go cut another circle because you've got plenty of paper in here.
Yeah, so there's some ways that you can fix it if you mess up.
So look in your packet of papers under your arts and crafts, and it gives you all the circles and what you can label them if you want. So my house, my city, my state.
So if you want to go outside and take a picture of your house, you probably can. It might be easier than trying to draw, especially if you don't feel like you draw the best. But this might be a challenge if you don't feel like you draw the best. But I think it's a good challenge because then you can go out and find pictures in magazines or take pictures on your
Yes.
device, or
You
you can
could.
practice your drawing skills, or you can even be creative and maybe draw something that represents that thing.
Your idea about magazines is a good one to cut out pictures that way too.
So, one of the traditions I have with my kids, and this is what I'm drawing, or at least I'm going to attempt to draw it. I don't know for sure if it'll turn out exactly the way I like it, want it to. But one of the things that we do is on important days, like the first day of school and the last day of school, we go out right by our house numbers and we'll take a picture of my kids standing right in front of the house numbers. And that has sort of accidentally become a tradition. I never thought, oh, I'm going to take my kids' pictures out there all the time. But
Yeah.
I feel like that has been a good representation of our house.
You could also see how much they've grown, right?
Exactly. Yes. And so that's what I'm attempting to draw, is just our house numbers and our garage. And because I don't draw people very well, I'm going to draw two little stick figures in front of the house numbers.
But that's all right too.
Yeah.
I found this one picture that had, I'm not sure if it'll fit on there or not. I may have to trim it down a little bit. But it had the grain silos and the train in it.
Oh, so nice. One of the famous landmarks in the city that I live in is the courthouse.
Yes.
I didn't grow up here in Texas, but I've seen that a lot of cities have courthouses.
And some of them, like here in Fort Worth, we have a courthouse that like tops Main Street. I drive past it every day. It doesn't have like the little town square around it. But does where you live, does your courthouse have a little town square?
It does. It has a cute little square where people come and they go shopping and lots of different foods there. Restaurants and cafes and stuff. So yes, definitely.
So I guess you could draw just about anything that represents what you think of when you think of your city, or it may be your school.
Or maybe your city is famous for something. You know what city? I don't even know what city it is, but I wish I lived in that city.
What's that?
The one that has Bluebell ice cream.
Oh yes, Brenham.
So, yeah.
Brenham, Texas.
If I lived in Brenham for my city, I would definitely draw an ice cream cone.
Have you ever visited there?
I haven't yet, but I definitely want to.
It's really good. And it's fun to see how they make the ice cream and package it.
I'm actually really can't wait. Maybe I'll have to do it this time.
Field trip.
That's
Road
right.
trip.
I mean, while we're talking about our place in the world, I bet you've gotten to visit lots of cities here in Texas.
I have. I've been here for most all of my life. I wasn't born here either, but most all of my life I've lived here.
Yeah.
I grew up right here in Fort Worth area. So it's funny, my husband was like born right here in the city of Fort Worth and has always lived right here all of his life. I don't think there's a whole lot of people that can, can say that, but
I think that's true.
because a lot of people move.
It's very true. I moved. So there's a special word that if you live in the same place, in the same state, your entire life,
Yeah.
it's called native.
A native.
And so some people might be a native to Texas right now if you haven't ever moved out of Texas.
He is definitely a native of Texas.
Okay. Let's see. I have no idea if I can do it, but one of the things that I think is sort of iconic about our state, I just used a big word there, didn't I?
Iconic?
Mhm.
It's a good word.
I like it. I'm going to try to draw a longhorn,
Oh, yes.
because I feel like those are iconic. Did you know, one time, I don't know if you've ever gone to the downtown area in Fort Worth.
Uh-huh.
There's these special guys that are called herd drovers,
Yes.
and they actually came here one time to the hospital. And they drive the cattle as part of the downtown.
Oh, in the stockyards.
Yeah, in the stockyards. Thank you.
Yes.
I was like, why can't I come up with that word?
It recreates some of those historic pieces of our
Yeah.
city.
Yes.
Okay, so for my state, I did our state flag.
Nice. That looks good.
I like our flag.
Yeah, that's good.
So for my country, what can I do for the United States?
Do you have something favorite about a favorite state that you are visiting?
No. It might be a little difficult to draw, but I like the Statue of Liberty that represents our country.
I was thinking that same thing.
Have you ever seen it? Have you ever been there?
I have. Have you?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe I will just do the torch.
That's
Maybe I
a
can
good
do the
idea.
torch.
Yeah, that's a good
And
idea.
then also, and I bet you've been here, the Liberty Bell.
Yeah, I've been to both of those.
Because you lived pretty
Yeah.
close to that.
I did. So I am one of those people who is not a native. I lived in Philadelphia, which is in Pennsylvania, the state of Pennsylvania. And I've lived in St. Louis, which is in the state of Missouri, before I was here in Texas. And I also grew up in Arizona. So I've gotten to live in a whole bunch of different states. But yes, those Those two things are just such an important part of our history.
I think so,
I
too.
love that you mentioned both of those.
So I think I'm going to try to draw.
That's good.
We'll see.
All right, I'm trying with my longhorn, and this is sort of this is what I got. Do I have longhorn?
Yes, I
think
like your
it's pretty
longhorn.
I mean, I think it's as good as it's gonna get.
I think anybody that saw that would know that that is a longhorn.
So, let's see. So I'm on my country as well. This is one of those smelly markers.
It is. They are
I
smelly
really-
markers.
Like, can you open a smelly marker without putting it up to your nose?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Probably some kind of rule about that. Like, if it's smelly markers, you gotta smell them.
That's right. Let's see. I'm gonna come back down to my country for a minute and go on to my continent.
Which is good because it just gives you time to think, right?
Mhm.
It's okay to
Yeah.
stop and think about things.
There's so many good things about our country. I was trying to think of our continent. Have you ever been to Canada?
I have not. I've always wanted to go though.
Yes. Well, I've only been to a couple of places in Canada, but one of them was Toronto. And Toronto has this building, which is similar to this place in Seattle called the Space Needle. I forget what they call it in Toronto, but I'm thinking about drawing that for our continent. And I sort of like that
The Space Needle?
in Seattle it's called the Space Needle.
Yes.
But in Toronto, it's called something else. And I sort of like that it's in both places, and that both places make up our continent. So,
Oh, that's a good point. I've not been to Seattle or Canada.
my parents took us to travel a lot, so we've gotten to travel quite a few places. And I spent a summer in Toronto, which it kills me that I can't remember what it's called in Toronto since I spent 3 whole months there. But I did that as part of college. So,
We traveled and vacationed a lot, but we did so more like out in the world in camps. So it was more out in the wilderness.
yes.
All right. So we're going to continue just to keep going. Find those things that represent each of these for you. And your planet, I'm going to use blue and green for my planet and make my land masses. But mine aren't going to be perfect. And then also coloring in the blue. So we're going to work on this. I'm going to show you this last step as we finish up. If you stack them all together like this at the top, so that your labels all show there. And if at home you have a hole punch, you can use that. We happen to have one. If not, you can use your scissors to poke a hole. And this is where your handy dandy little binder ring will come in, and you're going to loop them all together so that they hang on a ring.
Nice.
And then you can go through and tell your story about your place in the world. Because there's a long way between my house and our whole continent, our whole planet.
The big whole world that's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
This is fun. I like it.
Good job. All right, I'm gonna finish my continent. Glad you joined us. We will see you next week on Arts and Crafts.
All right.